Hello friends, welcome to the third part of pivot tables. In part 1, we saw how to understand the data, how to map the data to create pivot tables, how to create pivot charts. In part 2, we learnt about data analysis, data sorting, data filtering, conditional formatting and various other techniques. In part 3, we are going to learn about slices and dashboards. I have here some student information, sample data, first name, last name, degree marks, college, year of passing and conduct, around 50 rows. Now I'm going to select this set of rows. I can drag and select, or alternatively I can click the left top corner and select the entire sheet, click on insert, select pivot table. I am selecting a new worksheet here. Now I'm going to rename this tab as pivot and I'm going to have a tab color also for that. Now from the pivot table fields, I'm going to drag the year of passing field to the rows area and I'm going to drag the degree field to the columns area, and to find the number of candidates who have passed a specific degree in a particular year, I'm selecting the student ID and I'm going to drag it to the values area. Now you can see that I have a pivot table which shows the number of students who have passed in the year with the various degrees. Note that I also removed the row label and column labels which were showing as blank. Now click anywhere inside the pivot table. Now click on Analyze and then select Pivot Charts. So this helps to create a pivot chart like we have seen in part 1 of the data that we have selected. Now click OK. I'm going to create a dashboard page, so I cut this graph. I create a new worksheet called dashboard, and then I'm going to paste the graph in this particular page. We are going to build our reports, the different graphs in this dashboard worksheet, and as you can see, there is a filter that is found inside the chart, and if you use the filter conditions, you will be able to see that the graph changes accordingly. To get a feel of the dashboard, I am now going to remove the grid lines by selecting View and then unchecking the grid lines and selecting the graph and removing the graph border. Let us now go back to the data sheet, select it and click Insert Pivot Table and select Existing Sheet and select a location in the pivot worksheet. Now we are going to draw a pivot table with respect to the field conduct and the degree. I'm going to drag the student ID into the value area like we have done earlier. I am once again going to create a pivot chart for the data we have selected now. I'm going to cut this pivot chart and take it to the dashboard sheet that we had created earlier and place it there. Now the intent is to build a good report with all these graphs and then also introduce you to slices. I'm now going to create the third pivot table by selecting the data and selecting the college field and the number of students in the value fields. So it will give me the number of students who have passed out of each college. Now before I create a pivot chart, note that I can design the pivot table. Click on the table, select on design and select the color formatting that you want. So I'm selecting green here, I'm selecting the previous table, selecting another yellow color here, and then for the previous table I'm selecting a blue color here. I'm now going to create a pivot chart for the third table that we had created. I'm going to select a pie chart for this particular pivot table. Note that you have different formatting options for pivot charts as well. So click a chart and then select on design, and you have various options to select from. So I am selecting this particular format for this graph. Once again, a particular format for this graph. And for the pivot chart, I'm going to select a format which shows the percentage as well for each of the sections in the pie graph. Let me now introduce you to a very important and useful concept called slices. So click anywhere in the pivot table or pivot chart, click on insert and click on slicer. Now you can see all the fields listed here. So I'm going to select all the fields and I'm going to click OK. You are now free to move each of these slicer fields to anywhere in the page. I'm now going to select all the fields and click on options on the top for formatting with respect to alignment as well as with respect to colors. Very nice way to do the formatting is to select all the fields and click on options, align, say align top, and then distribute horizontally to have equally positioned fields in your dashboard. I am now actually manually adjusting the column width, and I am going to use the formatting features once again. I'm doing this for a good design of our dashboard, more for formatting purposes. I can now add a specific color to each of the slicers by selecting the slicer, clicking on options and choosing the different color options. Slicers actually help the user to understand the data better. Imagine that I'm going to select a student ID. It indicates the first name, last name, degree, marks, college, year of passing and contact of that particular person. Similarly, if I select the first name, it shows all the fields accordingly. Now I can do this by college or I can do this by degree, and every time I do this I need to clear the filter here on the top by removing the filter. Now I can do this by college or I can do it by degree with the field of my choice. So for example, if I select a particular degree and if I click on that degree, it shows the list of candidates who have completed those degrees and then the year of passing and their contact as well. Say for example, I want to see the list of candidates with contact excellent. Clicking on excellent here shows the students who have the contact excellent. Similarly, if I click on poor, it shows the 3 candidate names whose contact has been poor. You can also note that filtering values in the graph will also alter the slicer values below. We are now at the end of our training session on pivots. Hope you had a thorough understanding of how to create pivot tables, pivot charts, and dashboards. All these reports will help you with your day-to-day work and analysis. I will suggest that you play around with the different options to master pivot tables, charts, and dashboards. Thank you. Don't forget to give your feedback about this video in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get instant notification of my new videos. Thanks for watching.